It's time for this morning's Garden Talk. Back from the Edison and Ford Winter Estates is Debbie Hughes, senior horticulturist with Edison Ford Winter Estates, and Tom Scannell with Bougainvillea Growers Festival International Festival. Good morning to you both. Thank you so much for coming on.
First time I'm with you.
I know, this is first time. It's been a while since I've seen you. We're so glad to have you back here.
Thank you.
Talk about Edison Ford Winter Estates, but we've got a lot going on. Tell us about the Bougainvillea. Did I get that right?
Close enough.
The
That's
festival,
how the trade
yes.
calls it. Bougainvillea, but in the trade we say Bougainvillea, so
okay.
Very good. Yeah, this Saturday we're having a seminar at Ford Edison Estates on Bougainvillea propagation. So we're going to talk about how to take a vegetative cutting and create root formation. It's a four-step process. However, the water, humidity, temperature, light, and fertility are critical. It's an absolutely beautiful plant in the landscape, and I think there's a lot of interest.
Well, I'm really excited you're here because, as you all know, I'm from North Dakota where you can't exactly grow very much. It just gets blanketed in snow. But tell us about the flower here and what's so unique about it.
Sure. Well, it's a tropical flowering vine native to Brazil, and it's kind of like a poinsettia. Most people are familiar with poinsettias in that the colorful leaf is actually a bract.
Yeah. And as you're pointing out here, you can see in the close-up of the camera, you like to say that that's the little flower of it, as you can see there.
That's the flower, correct. So the color comes from the bract, or the leaf surrounding the flower. People call them the flowers, but technically they are not. So
they're absolutely gorgeous. Is this the only color that it comes in?
There's over 300 varieties of bougainvillea across the world. There's 3 species that are typically commercially grown.
Wow.
But they come in red, pink, orange, yellow, fuchsia, bicolor, 2 colors on one plant, variegated leaf, that's with the leaf with yellow variegation. And they're grown in a multitude of forms, from bonsai to hanging baskets, to bush hanging cover, espalier, pergolas. So it's a very flexible plant. It's a signature plant in the South Florida landscape and provides that electric tropical color.
I was just going to say that, especially here in Florida. I mean, I love that.
You get that in North Dakota, right?
You know, not really. No, it's something you've got to come to Southwest Florida for. Where do these grow well? I mean, around your house, can you plant them? What's the soil like when you're planting them?
Sure, great question. It's really pretty simple, but the 3 premises of successful bougainvillea culture: number 1, they're full sun plants. So the more sun, the better. I mean full out sun.
Okay.
Typically I'll see plantings under a big royal palm or on the north side under the eave of a house.
Shade, maybe?
Shade, full sun. The second and equally important thing is water. These things are actually xeriscape plants. That is, they're very drought tolerant. Out in Arizona, in the desert, they actually recommend these in the landscape. So the problem is the homeowner has their yard, their grass, and it needs a lot of water. It's a water hog.
Good thing we have a good rainy season around here, but when it's not rainy season, you really got to keep up with them.
Winter season is the flowering season for bougainvilleas. They're a short day plant, so they like short days, long nights, and the internal clock goes off and they start flowering. But so sun and water, and then the soil you mentioned, we need really good internal drainage. So as that water percolates through that soil profile, we need it to leave quickly.
Okay.
And that's about it. If you do that, one other tip is the color comes from new growth. So to promote new growth, we like to pinch. So we'll go back maybe 1 or 2 branches and just pinch all the growing tips about once a month.
So you don't want to, you just kind of want to pinch them. You don't want to break the leaves off or anything, right?
And that makes them branch because it is a vine and promotes new growth, which is where your color comes from.
Love that tip. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Debbie, did Edison have these growing on his estate?
Oh, absolutely. He called it his vines. It was one of his favorite plants. And of course, we have plenty of it on the property. We're going to show you all those varieties when you come Saturday to the Garden Talk at 10 a.m.
So what can people expect if they haven't been to a garden talk before?
Well, non-members are $5 charged. If you're a member, it's free. And then you get 20% off in the garden shop, which is really wonderful. Because you can get some bougainvilleas to take home with you. We'll help you with the varieties that you're going to choose for your appropriate situation in your own yard.
And just to have both experts like you there, you can learn so much. When I was landscaping, when I first moved here, I should not have been surprised at all, but all the sand in my soil, I mean, it really is important to come out to a place like Edison Ford and just learn about planting and what can really grow around here before you waste all that money buying something that's...
Trial and error, yes.
Yes, exactly. So again, come out to Garden Talk. You can get more information at the Edison and Ford Winter Estates. It's on McGregor. If you haven't been there before, it's a beautiful drive-in, by the way. I always like to point out it's lined with palm trees. One of the prettiest areas, I think, around here. But the Estates is certainly a unique area that you need to take advantage of.
It's a labor of love for sure, Stephanie.
Debbie, Tom, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and send it over to Carly.
I thought you were going to say be surprised about the bugs. You were surprised about bugs and sand while gardening and lawn care. All right, it's National Nutrition Month. After the break, whether you are looking for a new breakfast option or an afternoon snack, we have some new food items appearing at a grocery store near you. Stay with us.